back to Operations with your Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and this week we will be doing Raptor Rescue. Now, to show up how the gameplay can change, we will do a different route in Raptor Rescue. And I think most of my others, we have gone after the center carrier, except for the carrier one, we showed how to run in a carrier. Today we will be doing the southern CV route. This one does not change. It only changes based on one spawn. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. And we'll talk about what to do during each of the spawns while I'm going through it. Anyways, we will be using Montpelier. It's a Cleveland class. You see I was using blue bonuses. The Cleveland class, except lower, half a second slower reload, slightly more HP, slightly better dispersion. So it has about the same amount of DPM as a Cleveland, practical DPM. Slightly less theoretical, about the same practical. It's covered in 25mm armor, so it's the deck's on 27. It's fragile light cruiser. Good AA with diff AA and option of radar or spotter plane for those who want to be selfish and sit in the back with a spotter plane up. Anyways, with that, we'll hop into battle right after I show you the skills, so you know what skills I'm using. These are the skills I'm using. We have Last Stand, we have Focus Fire training to increase the AA. You can choose Demolition Expert instead if you want. They're both. So Last Stand, priority target, either Superintendent or Adrenaline Rush for your 3-point skill, and then Concealment Expert. And then you take your second 3-point skill, and then you take Consumable Enhancements, and then Radio Location. And then you have that last 2-point skill. So I took radio location. I mean, it's mostly because the turrets are slow and also because of Raptor Rescue. That's why I do that. You could take top ray gunner, but with the concealment so low, it's not so much worthwhile. If you want to do randoms, where is it? IFHE instead of this. IFHE would be a good one because that brings your 30 up to 37, and so you cross the 32mm threshold for HE. But you severely reduce fire chance. You want to keep your fire chance up, you don't take that, and then you take Demolition Expert, and then you have the best, well, Cleveland and Montpelier become the best fire starters there are at tier 8. So with that, we will go into battle. So I was looking for Raptor Rescue, and suddenly it popped up when I wasn't expecting it, so that's why we're starting right into battle without any loading screen or anything. I am solo, so there are no div mates on this team, and I was just hoping to get, Raptor Rescue in a cruiser as I was going. I had just finished the mission for getting credits and carrier and destroyers, so I could run cruisers again to make some money. So that's what we're doing. We're running Montpelier to make some money. And we have a Tiger 59 on our team who's using radar and smoke and is on fire at the same time. Tiger 59 has a heal, so they can be on hot fire and don't mind, as long as there's not a cruiser shooting at them. And so you see I don't have Expert Loader. Expert Loader actually wouldn't be a bad skill to have, but as you saw, I already used my 21 points. So we're not getting Expert Loader. No 22nd point. If they put its 22nd point, it'd be how much? 10 million? 20 million XP? It's, And so yeah, we have the Fuso. And so we're far back. We're actually this far back not because we don't want to be hit by the Fuso, but because we're getting ready to head south to go after the Southern CV. Not being targeted by Fuso is just a benefit. Like a secondary benefit. There we go. We got a fire. It goes out. Yes, DCP. I think we're to set a fire again before... Yeah, there goes another fire. And we can't shoot at it anymore, so we'll just let the rest of the team take care of it, which wasn't that much. So as you see, my RPF is already pointing north, so I know exactly where the enemy is. And I know there's going to be no cruisers in front of me. Now, if there were going to be cruisers coming from the south, these islands to the left, on the front, the ones at G and F on the 7 and 8 lines, those two islands, you hide kind of behind them so that the cruisers in front, the Alba and the Fubuki, can't shoot you. And you do it so that the other cruisers, when they come up, you automatically have their broadside. But because we don't have to deal with that, we can go ahead and steam straight ahead. Now the reason why we're going left, and not going left, we're going to the right, is to get some distance and ensure we have the broadside of the Alba sooner and for longer. It also keeps the islands in the way, so we have a stealthier approach, and we're not spotting anything too early. And by going down as soon and not waiting for the others, you're basically showing that you are going to take care of this. And the rest of the team will probably just shoot at whatever they can see, because if you're not trained and you don't know what you're doing, you generally go what's in front of you. And a lot of players on this game do not know things in depth, and so they just shoot at the red ship in front of them, or whatever they can see. Hopefully after this video you'll be you'll be a step above, because you'll know where these ships spawn. Hopefully. Raptor Rescue, it's always a case of, are they going to spawn here? Are they going to spawn there? Are they spawn north? Are they going to spawn south? Already I know it's either going to be middle or it's going to be north exit. So I know we're not going to have a south exit. And because it's not going to be a south exit, I know I don't have to worry about a Congo appearing in the south. So we're getting some early shots off as the Fubuki is smoking them up. And so I was waiting a little bit, deciding what I'm going to shoot at. And we have our Def AA active, and the entire squadron of planes is shot down. No more bombs. No bombs for you. So we're shooting at the ships that can shoot back first. Always shoot at the stuff and we're slowing down. And there go the rest of the bombers. So now we don't have to worry about being Citadel. We're slowing down to pre-dodge torpedoes that were sent our way. And as you see, I popped Hydro, and there's some torpedoes up front. And we don't have to worry about sending HE because our second fire got the Fubuki. But what we are going to worry about is the torpedo from the planes. Yes, as you can see, it's coming through the mini-map straight towards our nose. We couldn't dodge it. So what we have to do is get rid of this Alba as quickly as possible, because it's the one doing all the damage. And if we're Citadels, it's the easiest way to do that. And there we go. We were able to take care of that. Now we can take the Shokaku at our leisure. So we go around. We don't want the torpedo planes coming in, so we say AA, shoot that way, and it takes down the one plane. And so it launches more planes. but we're a bit too close for it to go into send planes right at us. And the battleships behind us shot at us. And so now we know that is south battleships, and so we know the exit's going to be center. And we're able to use our other charge of the FAA to get rid of the rest of the planes. And if you notice, I just turned off my AA to start the cooldown of the FAA. That's if someone was going to send planes, we'd want the cooldown back down as soon as possible so that our FAA is ready again. It's a trick that you can do in PvP. So if like a Russian plane, they sent, or let's do Kaga. So if because Kagas or a Hornet, their planes are slow. So they use their planes. They do a attack. Your FAA is up. All their planes are shut down. You turn off your FAA, and you're likely to have your FAA back up again by the plane they're and ready to use by the time their planes come back, if they are your standard CV player and playing from the back line of their map. Now, if they're closer, you might not have it back up again, but at the same time, your FAA would not last until their planes came back. Now, if it's a German CV, you might want to keep it up just in case, because their planes are fast, and German CV or the British CV that uses Sea Hornets. Either of those. And so we're looking at the battleships. We're not doing anything right now. So if it's either of those fast ones, you might not want to use the FAA right away. But that's a PvP tactic. So we're doing PvP. And what we're doing is, I was thinking about going up and rejoining the fleet, but that's so far away. Instead, you notice the RPF just ticked over to the left. And then we just got a spot ribbon. That Myoko. I thought it would be an Ibuki, but it's a Myoko. It was an Ibuki when they first reworked operations for Tier 8s. Anyways, that is what we're going for. I would have preferred it to be an Ibuki. It's still easy to Citadel heavy cruiser. So what we're doing is we're getting in an ambush spot. And so that's why we're not shooting, is because we don't want the Myoko to turn its guns towards us. We want its guns turned away from us, because we're only at 8,000 HP. We don't want to be shot. As much and as tempting as it is to shoot at those battleships, we also don't want the battleships to shoot at us. Because at this point, if we shoot, the Fuso probably would look at us and shoot at us. And so that's why we're not shooting. We're waiting for the Myoko. And so what we're doing is we're backing up so that we can speed forward as soon as we see the Myoko, giving it a hard time to shoot at us. And you can see the Easter Island statues. And so, Easter egg on this map. So there we are. We're opening up. 5 citadels with the first salvo. Now the 3 citadels for the second salvo. And third salvo takes it down. And so we're able to take it out before it even had a chance to look at us. And now we're able to shoot at the Fuso, who was looking to look at us. Yeah, the Fuso was absolutely looking at us as those shells go over the island and miss. Now, had we done a full speed turn and continued turning, we probably would have been in line of fire for those shells. And here I'm thinking, do I want to go north? Oh, look at the mini-map. On the top right corner on the mini-map, we see 2 cruisers. We can't actually see them. They're not in range. Those 2 cruisers are the very, 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 very rare AFK hunters. So if you get into Raptor Rescue and you don't move and you sit there for the entire game up until like now, those cruisers will spawn in, come in, kill whoever's sitting at that corner, and then go back to the A1 or A10, A11. So I think the person's just AFK, just got up and walked away because the secondaries were shooting and no torpedoes had hit the ship yet. So the Mogami probably got its torpedoes knocked out or something. So you can see the Mogami shooting. No. Yeah, the Alba guns got the Mackinson. And so with the battleships gone, what we're doing is we're just getting in position for the last teleport spawns. There are 2 ships of ours down now that the Maxinson's down, and no enemies up except for the AFK hunters. And so we're just going to go for the last 2 cruiser spawns. They will spawn in one at a time because 2 of our team members have sunk. If only one of us was sunk, then they would both spawn at the same time, which would be very bad. But because they're spawning in one at a time, we can actually control their spawn. I want to do this by sitting up next to the other spawn with our guns at one. So I'm pointing at my guns at one of the spawns, and I'm moving over there to the other spawn. And our RPF is not pointing at any active ship, but the paper ship that if you throw torpedoes at, you can get the achievement insert coin. So if you don't have the achievement insert coin, at this point, when everything's dead, you go to the end, and you would torpedo the ship to get an achievement. So we're getting close with about 5.5. Yeah, it's 5:35 is when they spawn. Now 5:35 is when it's the first one spawns, and it checks to see if the conditions are met for the second one to spawn in. And if the conditions are met, then the second one spawns in like half a second to a second later. You can tell that it actually waits for the program to go through all the condition checking, because if not, they would both spawn in at the same time. But I notice a clear delay from one spawning into the other. So we're expecting them to come blazing in a little bit faster, but they're not, so we're adjusting aim. It's one Citadel, and now the Mogami is shooting at us. Luckily it's a Mogami and not a Myoko, so it has a 15-second reload rather than 13. And this lets us out DPM it much faster. Down to 475 HP. Maximum AR. So now it's the Myoko with the faster reload, but I believe worse turret traverse. And you see it's looking at us. It's looking at us. It's looking at us. How are we alive? How are we alive? Why is it not shot at us? Why is it not shot at... Why did it not shoot at us? This is me looking around. How am I alive? How did it not shoot at us? It should have shot at us. It should have been sunk. I was 100% expecting to be sunk at that moment. I was perfectly okay with being sunk, because I would have had so much damage, and even if we had both had salvos in the air and I would get the kill and got sunk, that, or if it killed me before I got that last salvo to sink it, I would have been fine. I was expecting to take it, but no. We didn't die somehow. Anyways, and there we go. Raptor made it to the end. It's a victory. I think Raptor was full HP. Our allies did well at protecting from the destroyers and the carrier and the battleships. So we got a 5-star with natural selection because we destroyed 4 cruisers. We didn't destroy 8 ships that aren't cruisers. We destroyed 4 cruisers. We have 24 Citadel ribbons out of our 296 shell hits. and 38 planes shot down. And 1 million credits earned. And so we're second on the team with the Cataluna, the new Spanish cruiser, taking top. That's actually nice. We're going to go ahead and compliment him because if you can beat me, you're doing good. I say that. And actually, we're going to go... Okay, yeah, Shokaku, we did plenty of damage. But we're going to go back because the Chokolov, he went and spotted the destroyer at the beginning, and so that's an automatic compliment. Anyway, so our high explosive, we shot 126 shells for only 41k damage. Oh no, so we hit 126 shells. And we hit 170 of the armor piercing for 150,000 damage. So that's nearly 1,000 damage per shell average. And as you see, we have plenty of planes shot down. With AA defense of 60,000 nearly. And there we go. We have a total credits of 1 million earned. And this is because of premium time. I got premium time out of a super container, and so that's why I have more than a day of premium time that I had with the last video. Anyway, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put in the video below. If you want me to run a specific ship, go ahead. I might try to do a short of that last, I'd say it, that killing that last cruiser. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, or don't. I'm not your mother, so I won't demand anything of you. But I do hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.